Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. And today, well, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. I don't typically celebrate for Valentine's Day, but one of my favorite things is to make a little bit more of a glamorous makeup look. Whether I'm going anywhere or not, it just makes me feel a little bit more special. Now, I know for Valentine's Day, a lot of people like to go with the pinks and the purples and the reds. They go with, really pretty like pinks and purples on the eyes and so forth. And I like that. And I thought about doing that. But honestly, when I'm looking to get a little bit more glamorous, my personal preference is to go light on the eyes, light on all of the other makeup except the lips. I want the lips to be the emphasis, and that's what makes me feel special and more put together. And it can give me confidence when I'm feeling a little insecure in a situation or something like that. So today I wanted to do a quick get ready with me, just featuring some of the products that I like to use to make myself feel a little bit more special and glamorous. So I hope you enjoy this, and the shades and products that I use, they are pretty classic everyday shades that regardless as to whether or not you have those particular products, you most likely have shades like that already in your collection. So I hope this is helpful for everybody, and let me know what you think. So my first step is to add primers, and I'm going to use the Surratt Perfectioniste primer. And I love this one because if I have dewy skincare or sunscreen on my face, which I pretty much always do, this kind of cancels out any issues that you might have with that. So it creates a really nice smooth base. So this is, you can see I'm almost out of this. This is my second or third one that I've gone through. I can't remember now. And I have another one as backup already. And then for eyes, I'm using the Viseart Seamless Eye Primer, and just take a little bit. I rub it between my two fingers and put this on my lids, and then my face is prepped. Now, I know a lot of people like to add concealer after foundation. With me, I tend to add it first because a lot of times I do have a harder time matching concealer, because a lot of lines don't make them quite light enough, or then they're too white, or like the tones aren't quite right. So I have been, kind of just putting it on underneath. Now for today, we're going to go with the Fit Glow Corrector in Peach. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on first. And you can see I don't use a ton. There's not a lot of product there. And I'm going to use a Givenchy brush to smooth that out. So I'm taking the Givenchy mini base from the Kiyaki set. My fusion brushes are actually all drying right now. I use them constantly for concealer. So I would definitely recommend them if you're looking for a great concealer brush. I mean, I use them for all sorts of cream and liquid based products as well, but in particular, they're my favorite for concealer. Next, I'm going to take the Fit Glow Concealer. I have shade C1. And it is a little light, so I'm just going to put a little product on here, using the same brush to kind of blend this out. And I actually like this being a little bright because it does provide a little brightening and lightening under my eyes. And when I go in with the concealer or the foundation on top, I don't end up with like those halo lines or anything from it either. So it just kind of brightens it more naturally. So for foundation today, let's see, which one shall we use? I think I'm going to go with something matte. So I'm going to take the Chanel Ultra Le Teint, and I wear shade BB01. So it's here. I'm going to use the Lotus Base Brush from Givenchy, and I'm going to put some of this on. So you can see the difference. I think it's pretty impressive. All right, so here's the base. We're gonna let this sit while we do our eye look. All right, so for eyes today, we're using the Jones Road eyeshadow singles. These are all going to be rather basic colors, so you probably have something like this in your collection if you don't have these already. This one is Chic, And you can see it's just kind of like it's a white with a touch of cream in it. So it's not like super stark. And this is going to be a matte. I really like the formula of these eyeshadows. I think it's their best product. So I'm going to put this in the crease working up to the brow. And I'm also going to add just a dab of this in the inner corner just to kind of lighten that area from the get-go. And this is the Rougher 27. So next I'm taking the shade Ash. And you know, ash you would think of gray, but it's actually brown with some grayish tones in it. So it's a cool tone shade. If it were a little bit deeper, it'd actually be a really nice contour shade as well. So for really fair people, I think this actually would work. Probably would work for me for contour as well. I haven't tried it. But yeah, I think it's a really beautiful shade. I'm going to use the KZ6 from Chikuhodo. This is just for like a one and done type look. It's my favorite eyeshadow brush for that. And I'm just going to put this all over the lid. And let's just add another coat, make that a little bit deeper. And you can see I'm working some of that into the socket as well, but I'm being careful not to go above the socket. So I actually think just this would be great with some eyeliner, but I do like a little bit of sparkle. So we're gonna take another one. This one is called So Pretty. And this is one of the shimmery shades. It's like a shimmery grayish taupe. And you can see that it has a bit of a silvery glint to it. So it's kind of like taupe with a silvery glint to it. I think it's a really beautiful shade. So I'm going to use my finger actually and just pat a little bit of this on here. So I'm taking the KZ6, just going to go into the crease a little bit here. And if you have not tried the Jones Road shimmers, but you're somebody who has issues with, you know, shimmery, glittery shades, these I think, you know, work really well. Like they have a little bit of, I'm just going over this, make sure it's spread smoothly since my fingers don't always do the best job, but they have a little grip to them. So I feel like they adhere to the lid a little bit better than other shades. And that's one of the reasons why I like to layer the matte and the shimmery shades as well, just because I feel like they stick a little bit better to each other as well. So yeah, I think we'll do that. And then for the lower lash line, we're going to add a little bit of ash and we'll add some more prominent eyeliner on the upper lash line. I'm going to take the Esom V27. Just going to get a little product on here, knock off anything excess, and just going to put this underneath. You can see I actually made a mess with the glitter because I accidentally touched my face. Totally forgot. So yeah, don't do that. So I'm just taking out a little bit of foundation and just kind of going over that glitter a little bit. It's not going to get rid of it, but it's going to diffuse it a little bit, and that's fine. There. So now it's not really so noticeable. For the upper lash line, I'm going to take the Victoria Beckham Kajal in Cocoa. And I'm going to put this right on the lash line. Then I'm going to use the V27 just to smudge it a little bit because I feel like these eyeliners work better in that method with me. So here's the V27. And I'm just going to smudge this a little bit and soften it before it completely sets. And I'm making sure to really get that color in between the lashes. For mascara, I am going to use my favorite, the Sisley So Stretch in Deep Brown. But if you want to really volumize, maximize those lashes, I would definitely recommend going with something more vibrant like a black. And yeah, I'm just not ready to open a new mascara yet. So I'm going to use the brown one. But yeah, I think normally I would probably move to black if I want a little bit more of an emphasis. All right, for brows, I'm taking the Givenchy Mister Brow Pencil in 2. And I'm just going to add this, and then I'm going to add the Mister Brow Gel on top of this. All right, so that's it for eyes. Let's move on to cheeks. Now for cheeks, I want to go with something classic, kind of understated. So I'm reaching for one of my favorite, most natural looking blushes. This is the Cle de Peau Cream Blush in 4 Perfect Peach. I'll just show you what this one looks like. I mean, this formula, it was the first cream blush I ever tried that actually lasted all day on me, and it gives a really natural look. You can see there's a little bit of a satin sheen, but that's not really going to be evident when you buff it into the cheeks. Really just gives you that like glow from within, and it just looks so incredibly natural. So this is my favorite formula of cream blush. This is my favorite shade so far that I've tried. So this is the Refer 17 brush. It's their foundation brush. I personally like to use it for cream blush, and it fits perfectly in these containers. So just gonna get a little bit on the brush, dab that in. And you can see how natural that looks as it is. I'm just wiping the brush on my cloth. I keep a cloth on my lap at all times, and just gonna kind of buff that in a little bit more. And always be sure to wipe it in between sides. All right, so that's it. It's a really light, understated blush in this case. This particular shade works well for so many people. It's a really beautiful shade. I love it. For highlight, I'm using the Surratt Torche Lumiere in Diamante. And yeah, I like to put just a little bit of my finger, tap that on, and it gives like just this beautiful sheen to it. So I'm going to add that there, and then I'm going to get a little bit more of my finger, add some to the inner corner here. And I'm also going to add just a little bit right above or right under the brow, kind of where it arches a little bit. I don't have a huge arch, but just a little bit. So if you want to stay a little bit lighter, more natural looking, leave it at this, and then just add like a more nude based lipstick. But for me, when I like to go a little bit more glam, I like to keep everything understated except for the lips. So we're going to be using red lipstick, and we're going to start off by lining the lips with my favorite red lip liner. This is the Chanel lip liner in 188. This is called Brun Carmen, and it's my favorite. You can see it's more like a burgundy red, but I think it just works really well with like almost any shade of red lipstick. Not so much the orangey ones, but pretty much any red lipstick looks great with this. So we're gonna line my lips with this first. So I had a little bit of like chapstick residue left on my lips, so I kind of smeared the liner into my lips a little bit. And now let's add the lipstick. Usually I would probably go with more of a matte red lip, but I'm in the mood for shine today. Let me show you though real quickly, one of my favorite red lips. If you haven't tried, if you're looking for a matte red lip, this is one of the Chanel Ink Fusions. This is fantastic, and it like dries down matte, stays like all day. And this is number 836 Idyllique, and I just think this is a gorgeous red. So this is definitely one of my favorites to pair with, you know, a look like this. All right, so for lipstick, I wanted to use one of the Guerlain Rouge Legendary Red shades, and I have a video on those. I had 5 of the 6. I finally was able to get the 6th one. So this is 1870, and this one is going to be in the satin formula. So take a look. Here it is, and that's the lip liner. So you can see how well they go together. Yeah, really excited to try it. So let's put it on. So here it is. I love the color. I love it in the velvet. I love it in the satin. You know, I think it's just awesome. Most of the time when I wear a red lipstick, I usually tend to go for matte or velvet versions because I feel like they don't like smear and stuff as much. But I feel like these Guerlain satins, they're done well. You know, I don't have issues with them like bleeding and feathering and things like that. So I actually, you know, I like a red satin in this formula. Then I always like to take the lip liner afterwards and just kind of crisp up the lines. And most of the time I actually don't use the lip liner until after I put the lipstick on. So I'm just going to go over this real quickly and then I'll see you from a distance. And here is the look from a distance. And as I mentioned, when I want to look a little bit more glamorous, red lips, they really just, that's what does it for me. So I like to keep everything else kind of simple and more classic looking while the emphasis is on the lips. And I have to say, I really like how everything turned out. I love the color of this lipstick. I think the entire Guerlain Legendary Red collection is incredible. There's a shade there for everybody. And definitely, if you haven't already checked out that video, check it out. I just think the whole collection is awesome. They are now my favorite red lipsticks, I think. And just a review of everything that we used. The Surratt primer, it's a go-to everyday staple for me. So is the Viseart. Foundations, you know, I think when I'm going for a more matte look, but I don't want it super dry looking, the Chanel Ultra Le Teint is kind of my go-to for that. And yeah, I really like it. So BD01 is great. The Fit Glow Concealer and Corrector, I've been really enjoying those. So I've been using them for about a week or so now, and they hold up all day. I don't have any issues with creasing or with color fading or anything like that. I think they're a fantastic formula. So let me know if you want to see more Fit Glow. And as for the Givenchy brow products, they've been my regular brow products for a little while now. I sometimes switch out the pencil for the Gucci. I think they're pretty similar, but I do think the Givenchy one, I think I like it just slightly more because it stays a little bit more pigmented, and I feel like the Gucci, after the pencil gets a little older, it gets a little bit drier. You have to like kind of refresh it by sharpening it and so forth. But I do switch on and off between them. They're both, you know, really great products, and I would buy both of them again. And I have bought both of them again. So I think they're great. The Mr. Brow Groom Gel, love that as well. It's getting a little hard to find, so I'm a little worried that something's happening to it. Hopefully it's just a low stock right now, but I think it's a great brow product. As for the Cle de Peau blush, you know, I just think it's like, it gives you the most natural flush. It doesn't even really look like blush on the skin. You know, it's great for a no makeup kind of look, but it's also great if you would just want to, you know, go for something a little bit more sophisticated and classic. And you can obviously put on more product than I did. I wanted to keep it light. The Surratt Torche Lumiere, it's probably my go-to cream formula highlight. I absolutely love it. And I use this, or there are a couple I use with cream products, but this and the Ritual Defeat and Ice Bow, those are the two that I tend to reach for the most whenever I'm using like a cream blush. I just think the formulas go super well. The Surratt one, though, I do tend to use with powder formulas as well. I just think it's a really versatile product. And as for the Chanel, the lip liner in Brun Carmen, it is my go-to red lip liner. I, of course, have other shades of red and so forth, but this is the one that I think is the most universal. And I think the tones in it just go so well with almost every shade of red lipstick. Again, the more orangey ones, I prefer something a little warmer in tone than the Brun Carmen, but I think it's a really great product. The 1870 lipstick, again, I already talked about the Guerlain Legendary Reds. They're awesome. Check them out. And they are limited edition, so don't wait too long. But moving on to the Bobbi Brown shadows, I think, or Jones Road, sorry, is Bobbi Brown is the makeup artist in charge of Jones Road, but the Bobbi Brown Cosmetics company she sold many years ago, and Jones Road is her newest endeavor. So sometimes, gets mixed up in my head. But the Jones Road eyeshadows singles, I absolutely love these. She has a whole range of cooler tones, which were the first ones that came out, and then warmer tones. And I just think the formula itself is stunning. It performs really well. It's a powder formula, but it does seem to have a little grip and some blurring abilities on your lids. So if you have like more wrinkly lids, I feel like these work really well. For me, I like the mattes to kind of smooth it out. I feel like it kind of blurs any lines I have in my lid. And the shimmer shades, they have a little tackiness to them. Not so tacky that you can't apply it nicely with a brush or anything, but enough tackiness that it kind of stays put. And I really enjoy them. So I used my finger today. I typically use a brush. I think I'll go back to the brush because I kind of tend to make more of a mess when I use my fingers. But I think they are a fantastic product. Victoria Beckham Satin Cudgel Eyeliner in Cocoa. It's another favorite. I think it's a classic. It's probably the pencil from her that I reach for the most. That one, the sea gray, and the olive are probably my three favorites from her. And I really like the formula. If I leave it piled up, just make a line and leave it, I do end up with like smudging and stuff throughout the day. But if I intentionally smudge it out and put it where I want it, it pretty much sets. Now, some people are able to wear these in their waterlines with no issues. For me, they don't really work in my waterline, but everybody's a little different. So love that. Love the Sisley So Stretch Mascara. It's lengthening and separating, which is what I go for. It comes in brown, blue, and black. I actually have all three shades. Right now, I only have the brown one open, and it's my go-to everyday mascara as well. But I think, you can really make it look just a little bit more elevated if you add more layers or if you go with the black one. So really fantastic. I think I covered all the products that we use, but these are some of my favorite products, and these are some of the products that make me feel a little bit more glamorous and just a little bit more put together. I think they're great for a date night, great for Valentine's Day or any other special occasion as well. So let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I'll see you very soon. So have a great day and stay safe and healthy.